everyone, my name is Jess and this is Quicks and we are from Quest for Cruelty Free. Welcome to my channel and vlog. This video is probably going to be very long, but it's my first video and I'm talking about animal testing, so there's a lot of information to get through. I'm going to edit it down as much as possible. If you're interested in going cruelty free, this is a great way to just let the video play, learn a bunch of stuff. Here is Quicks. He's my bunny and he is going to be hanging out with us today. So I just wanted to do my first video talking about animal testing and why it's important to go cruelty free. I have some information written down. I won't usually do this in my videos, but I just wanted to make sure I hit all of the points that I really care about and that I think are important to go over. The first thing I want to say is, if you're wondering about the actual cruelty of animal testing, I'm going to link below a wonderful video done by one of my all-time favorite bloggers. Her name is Leticia and her blog is XO Love Letty. She does a really great job on talking about Animal Testing 101, just giving you the information. She does tons of research. She has a lot of quotes. If you're wondering about the science and whatnot, I'm going to link that down below because I don't think that I can possibly say it better than she already has. So watch that if you're unsure about what actually happens. What I will say about animal testing and the ugly truth is people always kind of think that it is, oh, you're putting blush on your bunny or kitty or dog, so cute, like that really doesn't hurt them, when that's actually not true at all. They are subject to force feeding, force injections, they're forced to inhale tons of toxic gases that are really bad for them, and it's also the most outdated form of testing your cosmetics. So it's a lot of very, very cruel things that are going on for literally no reason at all. There are a bunch of new ways to test your cosmetics that have nothing to do with being cruel to animals. So everything I'm gonna put on my blog, all of the makeup I currently use is cruelty free. I just wanted to say about the topic of the ugly truth of animal testing. This is Quicks, who I introduced you to earlier, and he actually was bred for animal testing. It could have been fur or meat as well, but in my area it's most common to breed for animal testing. It's really sad. He was just left outside to die. I don't know why he was dumped, but he's got a little tattoo in his other ear actually. I will show it to you close up later on, but his breed is called New Zealand White, and he's got really beautiful ruby eyes, and this is the breed that is bred for animal testing. And look at him, he is so sweet, so cuddly. Literally all he wants to do is cuddle all day long. And even in shelters, these bunnies are the last to get adopted because people are prejudiced against them for their red eyes. So they're mistreated in a lot of ways, and of course the most unfortunate is the testing on animals. I can tell his emotions even just by looking at his face. If he's in pain or sick, I can tell by the way he's acting, and I bring him to the vet. If he is stressed out, I can see it in his eyes. So when people say, oh, well, it doesn't really matter, rats and bunnies don't really feel pain, it's absolutely false. He feels pain, and you can see his expressions on his face. And I've volunteered with mice before, and they're the same way, and they're actually, people think they're so gross, mice and rats, but they're actually very, very affectionate. And if you're looking for a pet rodent, they're gonna be the ones that bond with you most. So they really do feel this pain. If you want more scientific proof, like I said, I'm going to link you below to Animal Testing 101 done by Leticia. So one of the biggest things that I get asked when I talk about being cruelty-free, going cruelty-free, is what are the alternatives? There are actually a lot of alternatives. One of the coolest things I've ever heard is scientists have been able to create cells that simulate how human skin would react to ingredients, which is proven to be a more reliable form of getting information than animal testing. Scientists can also use donated human tissue and computer models of skin to better test safe ingredients. So if you're concerned about safety, then you should also consider going cruelty-free, because animal testing is the most outdated form of testing. I'm providing down below a bunch of links that I have found to be super helpful with resources. And I know you're probably like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy, I don't have time to do all this research. That's why I'm here, and that's why a lot of other amazing bloggers are here, to help you learn the facts. I'm linking below an article from Cruelty Free International's website, and it's all about the alternatives. So if you want to look more into that, you can definitely check out that link below. So then why do people test? You're telling me that it doesn't even give you good results. Why is it even happening? Unfortunately, if you want to open up your market in China, excluding Hong Kong, you do have to test on animals. China requires you to test on animals. And then some people say, oh, well, the American version of Maybelline isn't tested on animals, or L'Oreal isn't tested on animals. It's only Maybelline China or L'Oreal China. That is 100% false. They're the same business, and they are choosing to open up their market share in China, which means they are choosing to test on animals. So don't believe that. That's all a lie. They're just trying to get around being straightforward with you. We're gonna test on animals because money is more important to us. So for me, when that happens, I'm not supporting you anymore, because I want to support companies who refuse to go into China and say, hey, I care about animal welfare and I care about being a cruelty-free company. It's completely unnecessary, and it's just a really big deal to me, and I think to a lot of other people. Once you really look into it, you don't want to support a company that chooses to do that. And these companies lie to you. L'Oreal has started this whole thing about how they're cruelty-free and all this stuff, and they're telling bloggers they're cruelty-free and using all this really heavy wording around it to basically try to trick you into thinking that they are cruelty-free, which, why would you want to purchase from a company who treats you like you're stupid? You can read between the lines. If you are curious about the L'Oreal thing, I'm gonna link below a Logical Harmony article breaking down L'Oreal's statement, showing you how exactly they are lying. The main issue here is that there is no laws against saying you are cruelty-free when you are not. So if I'm L'Oreal, I can get away with saying, oh yeah, I'm cruelty-free, when I really am not. Going off of that topic, my next topic is, and I already started to get into it a little bit, how can you tell if a company is truly cruelty-free? I will say there's a couple different ways you can tell. You don't want to just trust the PETA logo, because there are companies that have PETA's logo that other bloggers I follow have reached out to, and those brands have said basically that they do test on animals. The only list I have found, and I've been cruelty-free for years now, and I've followed multiple lists and bloggers and all these things, and there's one list that is actually accurate, and it is Logical Harmony, Tashina Combs. Thank you, Tashina, you are amazing. Anybody who's been cruelty-free for a long time, they only follow the Logical Harmony list, and I do the same. It's amazing, because if there's a brand that you don't see, you can check her pending list. There are brands pending to get on her list. If they're not on the pending or brands to avoid list, then you can reach out to her and say, hey, can you reach out to this company? But you can always reach out to a company yourself.
I'm gonna link below a collaboration between Leticia and Tashina, where they give you a list of how to reach out to a company yourself to find out if they're cruelty-free, so that you have all this information down below.
But anything that I purchase or I will be reviewing, it has to be Logical Harmony certified for me, just because she is the most unbiased person ever, and she does so much research. If you want to make sure that you are shopping cruelty-free, that is the way to go. But of course, everybody has to make their own decisions. If you have another list you like to follow, or you do go by the PETA or Leaping Bunny program, Do your research and you can always make the best decision for you. This is just the best decision for me. Another way you can tell if a company is not cruelty-free is if you pick up a package and it says final product not tested on animals. You know then that the final product was not tested on animals, but the ingredients or the previous product was tested on animals. Another sure way to see that a company is animal testing is when they say that they only test on animals when required by law. That's how you know that they are testing on animals. The when required by law thing means that they opened up their market in China. So that means that they do test on animals. They are choosing to test on animals. So that's a really easy way to figure it out right away. Another reason that companies can get away with saying that they don't test on animals, like L'Oreal says, we don't test on animals, is because they pay other people to test on animals for them. No cosmetic company, I don't think, at least, you can correct me if I'm wrong, actually tests on animals themselves. They pay other people to do it for them. They buy their ingredients from people who are testing on animals. So the next section I want to talk about is common comments that you receive when going cruelty-free, common misconceptions, frequently asked questions, all that extra stuff. So one thing I hear all the time is, I want to go cruelty-free, but I can't afford it. I hear this all the time, and it is literally the biggest misconception about being cruelty-free. e.l.f. is cruelty-free. e.l.f. people. $3 for brushes and $6 for Flawless Finish foundation. It is the most inexpensive brand out there, and they are cruelty-free, so you can afford it. If you can afford e.l.f., you can afford to be cruelty-free. There are a lot of amazing drugstore cruelty-free brands. Wet n Wild, Milani, Physicians Formula. Like I said, e.l.f., they have amazing products. I can't believe they're so inexpensive, but that is a huge misconception. Trust me, I'm super broke and I'm cruelty-free. I just graduated college, and you can find cruelty-free brands at any price point. Another misconception, I think, is that people think in order to be super glam and to have really fancy, expensive makeup, that all of those brands are not cruelty-free. There are some really glamorous brands like Too Faced, Kat Von D, Anastasia Beverly Hills, Becca, Cover FX. All these brands are cruelty-free. None of those brands are owned by a parent company who tests either. So you can be glam and be cruelty-free. So this bunny, he just wants to cuddle. Another thing I hear all the time is, I don't have time to do the research. I get that, you busy, I get it. I'm trying to help you, and there's a million other people that will try to help you. You can reach out to me if you have any questions. There's an amazing Facebook group that I'm a part of that is actually run by one of my favorite bloggers that I've already mentioned in this video, XO Love Letty. She's a bunny lifestyle group. Everybody in there is really supportive and helps each other with going cruelty-free and just living a more cruelty-free lifestyle in general. But I'm gonna link a ton of resources for you down below. You don't even have to Google search. I promise it's not even that much research, and you feel amazing when you start switching over. You're like looking for the brands you can use, trying all these new products, looking for dupes. It's so much fun, and it will be the best decision you ever make. Another thing I hear all the time is, well, I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan, so I feel like a hypocrite. It's great to be a vegetarian and a vegan, but you know, it's still a great thing. If what you can do right now is go cruelty-free, then go cruelty-free. That's an amazing thing that you're doing for animals. No step is too small, and I think that a lot of times people think that if they're not going all the way, it's not worth it, which is not true. I always feel like I'm not doing enough, and I think other people feel that way too. It's a really common thing, but you shouldn't let it stop you from doing something great and from putting your money where you want the world to go. Another thing is people say, well, I feel like it won't even make a difference in the end. That is so false. If you think like that, then you're not going to make a difference. It always starts with one person. One person can change the world because you can inspire other people to make a difference. And trust me, where you're putting your money, It matters. You work hard for your money, and where you spend it, especially in the cosmetic industry, is a huge, huge vote for where you want the world to go and for what you want to see in the future. I just realized you probably can't see him because he's like sunk into my arm at this point. He's taking a little nap. So I'm gonna try to make him more visible for you for the end of this video. This is another one I hear all the time. People say, quote, I really want to go cruelty free, but I can't live without my MAC lipstick, or I can't live without my Cetaphil face wash. Girl or boy, you can live without it. You will find something better. Trust me, not even just a dupe, you will find something better. I thought that way. Like, right when I switched over, I was obsessed with certain brands, like Aveeno, for example, because I have super dry skin, and I thought Aveeno was so amazing, and how am I ever gonna find a better moisturizer than Aveeno? Totally wrong. I literally don't even miss it. When I started switching over, I use Lush and Alba Botanica, which you could buy at Target, and it comes in a way bigger package, the Alba Botanica. It's so much better than Aveeno. I don't miss Aveeno whatsoever. So trust me, you will find it. And you can even Google cruelty-free MAC lipstick dupe. Another thing is, people always ask or say like, oh, I really want to go cruelty-free, but I can't afford to replace all of my items right now. I totally feel that. You don't have to go out and replace everything right now. As you use up your products, replace them with a cruelty-free version of that item. Finish your mascara, finish everything. Unless you recently bought it and you want to return it, go ahead and return it. Or donate it to a women's shelter, donate it to, you know, Goodwill, give some products to your friends, or use it up. Don't feel bad using it up. Use it up. You already bought it. You didn't know, but from here on out, you will make a difference. All right. Another thing this is more of a statement that people will say to you, well, you take medicine and that's tested on animals. Like, basically people will say things to you saying like, well, it doesn't even matter because you're not actually cruelty-free because you live in society. Unfortunately, we do not live in a society that caters to animal rights. There are little to no animal rights out there for not only test subjects, but I volunteer with a shelter, and we have such an issue with the laws and regulations that are put in place for our bunnies. And I know shelters that focus on cats and dogs have the same issues. You do what you can. You do what you can to make the world a better place. You can't live without your medicine that's been tested on. There's only so much we can do, but you making a decision that you know in your heart is the right decision, someone's always gonna have an issue with it. Someone's always gonna try to make you feel bad about it or make you feel like you're not doing enough. And you know what? Just blow those people off. Don't even think about it. You're doing what you know is and feel is right, and that's amazing. You should feel so proud of yourself and don't let anybody bring you down or tell you that you're not doing enough, because you are. You're making a positive change. Why would anybody be upset about that? Beats me. I think you rock. Papers flying everywhere. So back to business. I'm always trying to educate friends and people about who is cruelty-free and who's not, just because I think it's important to know and educate yourself. If you educate yourself, you can do so much more for the world. And people always say this to me, please don't tell me benefit tests on animals. Please, I don't want to hear it. No, no, no. And when I say yeah, they're like, no, no, no. Or same with MAC or other brands like that. They can't live without them. They're so sad. Yes, they do test on animals, and I don't want to be preachy either. I'm not trying to be preachy at all, but at the same time, don't you want to know what's going on in the world? Don't you want to know what these brands that you love, what they're doing? You might not like them anymore if you figure out what they're actually like and what they actually stand for. I know it can be really hard. Like I said, Aveeno, there's a million other brands that I loved. I love makeup, and I was so obsessed with certain brands. When I found out they were testing on animals, it really broke my heart. And I emailed all of them to let them know I wasn't going to be purchasing anymore. And let me tell you, none of them really cared. They sent me an automated response that's super legal-like, and trying to like throw you off. So I would just respond and say, you know what, you're choosing to test on animals. You are choosing to not be cruelty free, and for that reason I will no longer be a customer. And they're just kind of like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. So I don't miss giving them my money. Why would you want to purchase from a company that doesn't value you as a customer? Customer service, you know what I mean?
So I have so many amazing resources listed down below, things I didn't even mention in this video. I just want you to take a look at all of that, see what you think, and of course we all have different ways of going cruelty-free, different levels. There's parent companies, which I'll be talking about in another video, and there's just other things that you should take into consideration, but educate yourself. Check out these resources, see what you think.
And I'm really excited to start my channel. I've been waiting for so long, and I'm really excited to meet all of you guys. Thank you to all the YouTubers and friends that have been supporting me through all of this and encouraging me to do it. And yay, have compassion and go on this quest with me to be cruelty-free. I said I would show you this, so I should show it to you. He's a little nervous because of the lights. Makes him another number, basically, instead of treating him like what he is, which is a precious snuggle face. Look at this guy. Can you believe it? If you're thinking about going cruelty-free, just think. It could have been him, and it could have been lots of other people's pets. Know that you are doing an amazing thing, and there's a million people here to help you if you are on your quest to be cruelty-free. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you can follow me on Instagram at Quest for Cruelty Free, and go to www.questforcrueltyfree.com to see more reviews, starter kits, all this fun information on going cruelty free.